In the confined space of a first-class cabin at 30,000 feet, the culture war that defines modern America found its perfect stage. What happens when a Trump White House spokesperson's small silver cross becomes the flashpoint for an ideological battle that would soon explode across social media platforms and cable news networks? This isn't just a story about religious symbolism, it's about power, politics, and the public humiliation that followed. Are you ready to witness how a routine flight became the perfect microcosm of America's deepening political divide? Caroline Levit, press secretary to President Trump, boarded her Brussels-bound flight dressed casually, gray sweater, jeans, sneakers, but carried herself with the unmistakable confidence of someone who regularly faces down the Washington press corps. The small silver cross around her neck, a gift from her mother, caught the sharp eye of flight attendant Sarah Mitchell. And that's when the wheels of this political theater began turning. Hit that subscribe button now if you want to understand how everyday confrontations become national spectacles in our hyperpolarized media landscape. As Levit settled into seat 2A, preparing notes for her upcoming AI policy speech, she remained unaware that her religious symbol had already triggered something in Sarah Mitchell. The flight attendant, her navy uniform worn like armor, approached with a thin professional smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Miss Levit," she began, her voice frost-laden but maintaining the veneer of customer service. "We have a policy encouraging religious symbols to be kept discreet in first class, out of respect for diversity." The lie hung in the air. There was no such policy, just a personal atheist bias cloaked in corporate speak. How many times have we seen this playbook? Invent a policy, cite inclusivity, and demand conformity. Levit, with the practiced poise that had served her through countless White House briefings, didn't flinch. "I'm sorry, but what specific policy is that? I've flown first class many times and never been asked this." Mitchell doubled down, her fingers gripping her serving tray harder. "It's not a rule violation, ma'am. It's just that some passengers may feel uncomfortable with openly displayed religious symbols. We try to maintain a neutral space." Levit's response was a masterclass in the sharp, incisive questioning that had made her formidable at the podium. "So if I wore a necklace with a peace symbol or a gemstone, would you ask me to hide it? What makes this cross different?" In that moment, the cabin became a miniature America. Jake Harper, a liberal journalist, began typing notes for what he hoped would be a viral hit piece. Mark Reynolds, a Trump supporter, started recording, whispering, "She's standing up for her faith." Emily Chen, trying to stay uninvolved, like so many Americans who just want to live their lives away from the political crossfire, finally spoke up to mediate, only to be silenced by the growing tension. Do you recognize this pattern playing out in your own community? Drop a comment below with your thoughts on religious expression in public spaces. The confrontation escalated when Mitchell, feeling her authority challenged, resorted to threats. "If you don't cooperate, I'll have to report this to the captain." Levit's response resonated beyond the cabin. "This cross isn't a political statement or a provocation. It's part of who I am, just as religious freedom is part of this country. Asking me to hide it is asking me to give up both." The passengers held their breath. Some prepared social media posts, others recorded video. America's culture war was being live-streamed from seat 2A. When Captain Laura Bennett was called to the scene, a silver-haired veteran with 4 gold stripes on her uniform, the cabin fell silent. She listened to both sides, then delivered a verdict that would soon make headlines. "Miss Mitchell, there's no policy prohibiting passengers from wearing religious symbols. Religious freedom is protected, and there's no evidence this cross is causing a disturbance." Mitchell stood frozen, her face flushing under the cabin lights. Public humiliation is the currency of viral content, and everyone knew this moment would soon be streaming across millions of screens. But what happened next transcended the typical outrage cycle. Mitchell, in a rare moment of authenticity rarely captured in our partisan performance theater, knelt before Levit. "Miss Levit, I'm sorry," she began, her voice trembling with genuine emotion. "I was wrong to ask you to hide the cross. It wasn't about policy but my past." She confessed to growing up in a family that imposed faith on her. How she thought rejecting religion meant freedom. But instead, she'd become what she despised, an enforcer imposing her beliefs on others. Levit's response was equally revealing. "We don't need to erase mistakes, just face them. This cross reminds me of the compassion my mother taught me. I forgive you, and I hope you forgive yourself. Would you have shown such grace under fire? Or would you have seized the moment for maximum political advantage? Hit that like button if you believe in second chances. As the plane landed, the machinery of modern media was already in motion. Mark posted his video with the caption, "Caroline Levit defends faith and teaches the world about compassion." It gained thousands of views within hours. Jake revised his planned hit piece to "From Conflict to Reconciliation, Caroline Levit and a Lesson in Faith on a Flight." The hashtag Faith in Flight trended. Trump supporters hailed Levit as a symbol of religious freedom. Political opponents accused her of staging the incident for attention. Religious groups held online discussions. Atheist defended Mitchell, arguing she was just trying to maintain neutrality. The story reveals how in America's outrage ecosystem, even the smallest personal interactions become ammunition in the never-ending culture war. Every moment is potentially viral, every conversation possibly recorded, every symbol a potential flashpoint. Sarah Mitchell, faced with her viral humiliation, chose an unusual path. Rather than disappearing or doubling down, she recorded a video confession. "I was wrong to ask Caroline Levit to hide her cross. My actions weren't based on policy, but on personal bias." She enrolled in multicultural training and eventually became an instructor, helping others avoid her mistakes. Levit, meanwhile, spoke at an interfaith conference a year later, using her platform to promote understanding rather than division. "We don't need to agree on religion," she told the audience, "but we must respect the right to be ourselves." In a nation where politicians and media figures profit from division, this unexpected reconciliation offers a different vision, one where confrontation leads to conversation, not cancellation. The incident on Flight 2937 wasn't just about a cross necklace. It was about America itself, our freedoms, our biases, our capacity for both conflict and compassion. It reveals how politics has seeped into every aspect of American life, from airport terminals to social media terminals. This is America in the 21st century, a place where personal faith becomes political statement, where private conversations become public spectacles, where a moment of human connection breaks through the carefully constructed barriers of partisan identity. If this analysis of America's culture wars resonated with you, smash that subscribe button for more unfiltered political commentary that doesn't shy away from the complexities of our divided nation. Share this video with someone who sees politics differently than you do. It might just start a conversation instead of a confrontation. And remember, in a world where everyone is recording, the most revolutionary act might be turning off the camera and truly listening. This is Karoline now, bringing you the stories that define America's political landscape. Until next time.